Greetings and salutations one and all. How you doing? I'll say welcome to the Healthy Love. Right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. The last Healthy Love of 2020. Inviting you to call a friend, tell a friend. When the music hits you call an enemy, tell their friends. Doing it again and again. Tell the enemy of your friends. We're on right now. And you're breathing, and you're so full of life. Come let we activate. Kicking it up with a little Razor Saga. Yeah. It's called Activate Life. You feel no pain. We're doing it again and again. When the music hits you, you feel no pain. And now, show me your heart is beating, and you're breathing, and you're so full of life. Come let we activate the vibe. Come let we demonstrate we are alive. So show me something up in here. Give me something up in here. Put up something up in here. Party all day long, and we going strong. Don't let the vibe get down. So show me something up in here. Give up something up in here. Give me something up in here. Put up something up in here. This time I'm doing all I could, 'cause I full up my life. I think I should live my life to the fullest. Bring my cup to the fullest. Jam them back to the fullest. Go all out just like tourists. I say, if you know you want it and you know. Hey, Farmer Marcia. Yeah, I get to identify, you know. Time to live the fight now. Time to live it up. So come and start it up. I want to say welcome to each and every one of you, those locked in on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew on TuneIn Radio. So show me something up in here. Give me something up in here. Those on One Harmony Radio. Big ups to you guys across the pond, top of the morning to you. Come to party all day long, and we going strong. Those locked in on WGLRO.com. Home of the Donny Walker Morning Show, taking you from the sheets to the streets, touching from Detroit to Denmark and all points in between. Big ups to those on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. If you know you about it and you not give up, I want you to show me. Those locked in on PEMGTV.com. Come let we activate. Come let we demonstrate. Big ups to those on Island Worldwide. Give me something up in here. Put up something up in here. Wave up something up in here. And of course, right here at the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, KevinStew.com. Where you are invited and encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment. Welcome. So glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. You have my word, I wouldn't even try. The sound of Razor Saga. Yeah man, I'm living to the fullest. No matter what we activate in life. If you know you about it and you not give up, I want to say big ups to Palsy Media Group. Thank you for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. When being in the moment is priceless, you want to give them a call. They take care of innovative streaming and recording solutions. Everything you see right here on KevinStew.com. Palsy Media Group can hook you up with it. If you want to stream an event live on a secure platform where you run your own ads and such, they got you. If you want to take it a step further and have your own internet TV station, you give them a call, 754-999-6020, or check them out online, pulseemg.com. These are the people that make the things happen, yeah? Come let we activate, we vibe. Come let we demonstrate, we alive. So show me something. Up in here.
It's Healthy Love and we're activating live. Wanna say big up to those who are locked in on Facebook Live. Remember, it's only temporary. Use the link kevinstew.com. Yeah, it's in the description if you can't remember it. Razor Saga. It's called Activate Life. So, as we close out 2020, there is, of course, all the talk, all the buzz is about the same thing that we pretty much started 2020 with. It's all about COVID. And the focus tonight is not on COVID per se. It's on something that is allegedly caused by the vaccine for COVID. And, you know, I find the bits of information, I present it. What you do with it, that is up to you. Like I always say, I'm here to stimulate your appetite, not satisfy your hunger. When I give you something, you take it and you run with it, or you take it and you find out more information and you come back and you refute it. Whatever you want to do with it, that's up to you. That's your part. My part is to give it to you. I saw a video recently of a nurse that had gotten the COVID-19 vaccine. And she said, you know, the first few days, everything was fine. And then she realized that she couldn't move one side of her face. End up being diagnosed with Bell's palsy. Now, I don't know if you guys know what Bell's palsy is. If you know what it is, feel free to call in and share what you know of it. If you've had the experience of Bell's palsy, please share it with me. If you know someone that had the experience, that dealt with it, let me know. Give me a call, 773-789-STEW. That's 773-789-7839. The number is running across the bottom of your screen right there. 773-789-STEW. Call me, text me, WhatsApp me. Yeah, you can WhatsApp call me on that number. And we'd be live here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, talking in Healthy Love. If any of the information that I present to you, you have a problem with it, and you want to share that, you can call, you can text. If you're overseas and that doesn't really work for you, that's fine. You can Skype. Kevin.stew is my Skype handle. And of course, the stew pot is always available. If you're wondering what the stew pot is, others call it a chat room, but we're fancy over here on kevinstew.com. So we call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbly. We just ask that you be mindful and respectful of others. And keep it decent. So come on in. The water is always fine. Bell's palsy. Now, the symptoms include sudden weakness in your facial muscles. In most cases, the weakness is temporary and significantly improves over weeks. The weakness makes half of your face appear to droop. Your smile is one-sided and your eye on that side resists closing. A little bit uncomfortable if your eyes can't close for weeks. Well, one eye can't close for weeks. Now, if you're in prison, I guess that is okay because you'd want to sleep with one eye open anyway. But in regular life, you know, that it doesn't really, it's not comfortable. But it isn't even comfortable then. Bell's palsy is also known as acute peripheral facial palsy of unknown cause, and it can occur at any age. The exact cause? Unknown. It is believed to be the result of swelling and inflammation of the nerve that controls the muscles on one side of your face. Or it might be a reaction that occurs after a viral infection. Who knows? For most people, Bell's palsy is temporary. Most. Symptoms usually start to improve within a few weeks, with complete recovery in about 6 months. That's a stretch. A small number of people continue to have some Bell's palsy symptoms for life. Now, rarely, Bell's palsy can recur. So, that answers off the bat one of the questions that comes to mind. If you've had it, is that the only time you're going to get it? Well, sometimes you get it more than once. What does it look like when you get Bell's palsy? What do you look for? Well, one of the things is that to be mindful of is that the symptoms and the signs of Bell's palsy come on suddenly. And according to MayoClinic.org, they may include rapid onset mild weakness to total paralysis on one side of your face, occurring within hours to days. Facial droop and difficulty making facial expressions such as closing your eye or smiling. Drooling. Pain around the jaw or in or behind your ear on the affected side. Increased sensitivity to sound on the affected side. Headache. A loss of taste. Changes in the amount of tears and saliva you produce. In rare cases, Bell's palsy can affect the nerves on both sides of your face. You want to look about getting medical help if you experience any type of paralysis, because typically it may be that you're having a stroke. And Bell's palsy is not caused by a stroke, but it can cause similar symptoms to a stroke. So any kind of paralysis that you're experiencing, you want to immediately look about getting attention, medical attention. See a doctor if you experience facial weakness or drooping to find out if the underlying cause and severity of the illness is Bell's palsy or it is something else. Go get it checked out. Now, although the exact reason for Bell's palsy occurs, why it happens, why it occurs, why people get afflicted by it, the exact reason is not clear. It's often related to having a viral infection. Viruses that have been linked to Bell's palsy include viruses that cause cold sores and genital herpes. That's the herpes simplex virus. The ones that cause chickenpox and shingles. The herpes zoster virus. Then you have infectious mononucleosis or Epstein-Barr. You have cytomegalovirus infections. You have respiratory illnesses, German measles, mumps, flu, hand, foot, and mouth disease. When you look at a list like that, then you'd wonder, wait, if these viruses can cause Bell's palsy, right now as the subject of vaccines is so high on everybody's list. Could any of the vaccines that you would get for mumps, rubella, um, flu, could any of these vaccines cause Bell's palsy? That's a good question, right? Big up Kujo, how you doing, bro? Hey Julie. Um yeah. Thank you for agreeing with me about the information. So I okay, you shared that same video with someone and they told you outright that she doesn't believe the video and directed you to go to the CDC website or any scientific website. Okay, so my question, Steady, is what exactly don't they believe about that video? Hey, China, have you seen or met anybody that has had Bell's palsy? Anybody that has come across someone that has had Bell's palsy, see if you can find out what brought it on. But going back to my question, if these viruses could possibly cause Bell's palsy, could the vaccine for these viruses also cause Bell's palsy? And I ask that because the vaccine for these viruses, the MMR vaccine, for one, it contains a little bit of the virus. So it has a little bit of the virus. So your body is the protection mechanism that is built into your body then becomes activated and your body creates these antibodies. So because the viral load is so low, it creates the antibodies to fight off that infection, that virus. Now, typically, when you have a virus, there's nothing you can do about it but to let it run its course. So science over time they have been successful in finding a vaccine to combat German measles and mumps. I really don't believe they're that successful with the vaccine against the flu. Here's the difference with those two viruses. You have a stable virus, double-stranded, versus an unstable virus, a single-stranded. And we were introduced to that before, the structure of viruses. Now, the flu is one of those viruses that is a single-strand virus. Hence, it mutates easily. And I have yet to come across a scientist to tell me that there is an effective vaccine against a single strand virus. If anybody out there knows of one, feel free to send me the information. I will gladly look at it. But to date, I have not come across any information about any DRs. And remember, I'm just a DJ. So any DRs that have the information that says this vaccine will work for these single-strand viruses. So for me, the journey continues where that is concerned. Now, the nerve that controls your facial muscle, or the muscles in your face, passes through a narrow corridor of bone on its way to your face. In Bell's palsy, that nerve becomes inflamed and swollen, usually related to a viral infection. Besides facial muscles, the nerve affects tears, saliva, taste, and a small bone in the middle of your ear. Hence the hearing issue and the tears issue. Bell's palsy occurs more often in people who are pregnant, especially during the third trimester, or who are in the first week after giving birth. If they have upper respiratory infections, such as the cold or the flu, if they have diabetes, they are also high risk for Bell's palsy. Recurrent attacks of Bell's palsy are rare, but in some of these cases, there is a family history of recurrent attacks, suggesting a possible genetic predisposition to Bell's palsy. It is suggested, not yet proven. A mild case of Bell's palsy normally disappears within a month. Recovery from a more severe case involving total paralysis varies, and complications may include irreversible damage to your facial nerve, abnormal growth of nerve fibers, and this may result in involuntary contraction of certain muscles when you're trying to move others. For example, when you smile, the eye on the affected side may close. Then there's partial or complete blindness of the eye that won't close due to excessive dryness and scratching of the clear protective covering of the eye, the cornea. So don't just think that, here it is. It's just this little condition that may last for, a few weeks to 6 months, and because it goes away, that everything is fine. Well, here's a problem. Your eye being open for so long can cause either temporary or permanent blindness. So some people were doubtful that the nurse is legit. Okay, steady, cool, I get that. Why exactly the nurse would not be legit? Who knows? But this is why I'm doing this particular broadcast tonight. Because we need to know what Bell's palsy is. After knowing what Bell's palsy is, we need to look at the relationship between the COVID-19 vaccine and Bell's palsy. Why would it cause Bell's palsy? Could it cause Bell's palsy? For starters, we already know they don't really know the cause of Bell's palsy. However, it is said to be related to certain viruses. Viruses that cause respiratory infections are high on the list. What is COVID-19? COVID-19 is a respiratory virus. It's a respiratory infection. Yes? So, could you possibly get Bell's palsy from either the virus or what was created to fight the virus? So, let's go ahead and assume this nurse had never had the virus, got the vaccine, came down with Bell's palsy. There could be an argument to say the vaccine didn't do it, since you want to associate viruses with Bell's palsy, and the COVID-19 vaccine doesn't contain the virus. So then, what would be the association? Because that was one of the things that was said about the COVID-19 virus. It does not contain, the vaccine, it does not contain the virus. Now, I guess that's the difference with mRNA vaccines versus regular vaccines, DNA vaccines, where now you're using the virus itself to create antibodies. I guess the difference with mRNA virus vaccines is that you are using something else to create antibodies. I'm not too sure how that works, because in its simple form, that just doesn't add up for me. But that's just me. I don't know how you feel about it, you guys, the listeners. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's how I feel about it. Because to me, it needs to be simple enough to make sense. The more complicated you get, for me, you're trying to cover something up. So tell it to me in simple terms. Let me know that if you move this item from here and you put it over here, this is where it is going to be. Break it down as simple as that for me. I'm a simple guy. So what do we have to work with? Now, if you're saying that it is not that the vaccine contains a virus, so the vaccine doesn't contain the virus, so it can't cause Bell's palsy. Okay. What then was it that changed for this lady, this nurse, that caused her to get Bell's palsy? Because according to her in the video, she got the vaccine, then she got Bell's palsy. So those that are saying that it is not legit, are they also saying that she didn't get the vaccine? What exactly are they saying? And based on what are they saying that they don't think it is legit? Because it's one thing to say, I don't think that is real, and just leave it there. My mind kind of works a little bit differently. I want to know why you don't think it is real. Based on what? If I put some information out there, if I create a little video and put it out on social media, then I would expect that you would want to believe what I'm telling you. But then again, people lie, right? So if this one individual, could be lying about the information that she is putting forward in this video, why can't a whole organization be lying about the effectiveness of a vaccine? Why? Because behind their website there's a .gov. We know politicians are liars, so it only stands to reason that the government is filled with liars. Simple deductions. Not to say that they're all liars. However, majority rules. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we look at diagnoses of Bell's palsy and treatments. Call a friend, tell a friend. It's Healthy Love on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. This is the last Healthy Love of 2020. Those of you on Facebook Live, come on over to the website, join me in the stew pot, and we continue the broadcast there. The link is in the description. If you don't want to use the link through the description, you can always just type it in your browser, kevinstew.com. Real easy. It's my name, Kevin, the stew, part of my name also, STEW, no fancy spelling, kevinstew1word.com. Simple. It takes you right there. The video you see is live. You're in the chat room immediately. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can remain anonymous. You don't have to change your name, or you can change your name and I can identify you by name. But just like how you comment on Facebook, the same way you comment on kevinstew.com. Or you can message me by text, or you can call 773-789-STEW. Options are always there. You can use Skype, kevin.stew. All right? Cool. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we talk some more Healthy Love right here. Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Facebook Live. Deuces. Take care.
Palsy Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. a new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Palsy Media Group.
Imagine having our own Caribbean Center.
Imagine a museum highlighting our history and the contributions of Caribbean people to the world.
Imagine being able to visit and learn about the islands we call home.
In a place where our kids can see and feel their cultural heritage. You can make this vision come to life.
Help us create this first-of-its-kind space
that all Caribbean people can be proud of. Your contribution to Island Space Caribbean Museum will help this dream come true.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe and donate today.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This non-profit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. It's Christine representing word and honor. Selassie DJ Kevin Stew.
It's been a long time coming. Are you ever gonna change? Are you ever gonna to take advice for how I'm feeling? It's been a long time running, and I know you wanna stay. So I think that it is time we live like we used to. Right all around the city singing back to when we were younger. It's been a long time coming, so put on a happy face. Grab my hand so we can let all of our troubles out. There's no cares tonight. Take me for a ride. Even when the stars never will align, even when it's dark and you lose your mind. Oh, right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Oh, now you're so crazy. Oh, I'm crazy too. Right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Baby, don't you worry, 'cause you know I understand what it's like to be chewed up and spit out in the cold world. Baby, there's no hurry, as long as you take my hand. We can dance and I won't be the one to let you go. There's no care tonight. Take me for a ride. Even when the stars never will align, even when it's dark and you lose your mind. Oh, right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Oh, now you're so crazy. Oh, I'm crazy too. Right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Want to welcome you back to the broadcast.
Take me for a ride.
And thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. Althea is a licensed massage therapist with over 20 years of experience that comes to you, bringing her tables and her oils.
I will stay in the madness with you.
Operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties.
Oh, now you're so crazy.
Give her a call, 954-655-9000. Or email her at thealater@att.net. That's THEALATER at att.net. Outside of paying her, she only asks one thing of you. And outside of you having COVID, she asks that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done so that she can leave. Thank you very much, Althea. So as we go through this madness called healthy love, we are looking at Bell's palsy. And is it so crazy that we're looking at Bell's palsy? Not so much. Because according to a video that is in circulation, the COVID-19 vaccine could possibly trigger Bell's palsy. So we looked at what Bell's palsy is and we looked at what some of the symptoms of it. There's no specific test for Bell's palsy. So when you're thinking about diagnoses, it's kind of iffy. Your doctor will look at your face and ask you to move your facial muscles by closing your eyes, lifting your brow, showing your teeth, and frowning, among other movements. Other conditions, such as stroke, infections, Lyme disease, and tumors, can cause facial muscle weaknesses that mimic Bell's palsy. If the cause of your symptoms is not clear, your doctor may recommend other tests. What are these other tests? Well, they include EMGs, electromyography. Now, this test can confirm the presence of nerve damage and determine its severity. An EMG measures the electricity activity of a muscle in response to a stimulation and the nature of the speed of the conduction of electrical impulses along a nerve. Because, our bodies are an electrical system. like it or not, yes, electricity runs through you. That's how your nerves transmit impulses. That's how information travels from your brain to the rest of your body. You know, when you feel the prick of a pin on your finger, or someone touches you, it's electrical impulses that's going from the surface of your skin to your brain, and it happens pretty much just that quick. So, enough of that biology lesson. So EMG is one test. Then there are imaging scans, magnetic resonance imaging, MRIs, or computerized tomography, CTs. These may be needed on occasion to rule out other possible sources of pressure on the facial nerve, such as a tumor or skull fracture. It should be interesting that you have a skull fracture without a head injury. But, you know, most people with Bell's palsy recover fully. Most. But is there a treatment for it? There is no one-size-fits-all treatment for Bell's palsy. But your doctor may suggest medications or physical therapy to help speed up your recovery. Surgery is rarely an option. Commonly used medications to treat Bell's palsy would include corticosteroids, such as prednisone. And these are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. Because remember now, it is believed to be caused by an inflammation along the nerve to the face. So if they can reduce the swelling of the facial nerve, then it will fit more comfortably within the bony corridor that surrounds it. And again, this is a very small area that it resides in. Corticosteroids may work best if they are started within several days of when your symptoms started. Antiviral drugs may also be used. The role of antivirals remains unsettled though. Antivirals alone have shown no benefit compared with placebo. Antivirals added to steroids are possibly beneficial for some people with Bell's palsy, but it is still unproved. However, despite that information, you have Valtrex or Zorivax that is sometimes given in combination with prednisone in people with severe facial palsy. However, again, antivirals by themselves are not said to work. But I can understand the rationale behind the antiviral being given, considering that Bell's palsy is associated with viruses. So there should be a virus present in order for the antiviral to be used. Yes? In theory. Now, physical therapy may also be used in the treatment of Bell's palsy. Paralyzed muscles can shrink and shorten, causing permanent contractures. A physical therapist can teach you how to massage and exercise your facial muscles to help prevent this from occurring. In the past, decompression surgery was used to relieve the pressure on the facial nerve by opening the bony passage that the nerve passes through. Today, decompression surgery isn't recommended. Facial nerve injury and permanent hearing loss are possible risks that are associated with this surgery. Gee, I wonder how they figured that out. Now, rarely, plastic surgery may be needed to correct lasting facial nerve problems. Facial reanimation helps to make the face look more even and may restore facial movements. Examples of this type of surgery include an eyebrow lift or an eyelid lift, facial implants, and nerve grafts. Some procedures, such as an eyebrow lift, may need to be repeated after several years because the eyebrow drops again. Now, there are also home remedies or lifestyle remedies. Your home remedies may include protecting the eye you can't close, which would seem logical. Using lubricating eye drops during the day and an eye ointment at night will help keep your eye moist. Wearing glasses or goggles during the day and an eye patch at night can prevent your eye from getting poked or scratched. Taking over-the-counter pain relievers, aspirin, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, may help ease the pain that you're feeling at the time. If you're not feeling any pain, well, you don't need to take painkillers. Doing your physical therapy exercises would be also important. Massaging and exercising your face, according to your physical therapist's advice, may help relax your facial muscles. Although there's little scientific evidence to support the use of alternate medicine for people with Bell's palsy, some people with the condition may benefit from acupuncture, which is the placing of thin needles into a specific point in your skin that helps stimulate nerves and muscles. And that may help to offer some relief. And there's biofeedback training. By teaching you to use your thoughts to control your body, biofeedback training may help you gain better control over your facial muscles. Basically, they're saying be mindful about what you're doing and focus. The force is with you. No, it's not a Jedi mind trick. It's really just focusing. Now, you'll likely start by seeing your family doctor in getting treatment and such. So, in some cases, when you call to set up an appointment, you may be referred immediately to a neurologist. It's good to prepare for your appointment, and some things that you want to do is to write down any symptoms that you're experiencing. And be sure to include that any that may seem unrelated to the reason for which you actually scheduled the appointment. So anything at all that you're experiencing, write that down. Write down key personal information. Have you had any major stresses or life changes recently? This type of information may help the doctor to make a diagnosis. Make a list of all the medications you're taking. Include the dosage amount, and don't forget to write down any vitamins or supplements that you're taking also. So anything that is being added to your diet, you want to go ahead and add that. Make a list of that. If you can, make sure you're going with a friend or family member. Sometimes it can be difficult to remember all the information during an appointment, which is also a good reason to write it down. Someone who accompanies you may remember something that you missed or something you forgot. So if it's someone from your household, you're better off. Any questions that you might want to ask your doctor, write them down. Some basic questions that you probably want to ask is, what are the most likely causes of your symptoms? Are there any possible causes, any other possible causes? What kind of tests do you need to have? How long-lasting is this condition? Is it temporary? Is it permanent? Is it somewhere in between? How long is temporary? What treatments are available for Bell's palsy? What are the ones recommended for you, the individual that is asking? Are there any alternatives to the primary approach that is being suggested? If you have other health conditions, how best can you manage these conditions together? Are there any brochures or printed material that you can take with you, and any sources that could be recommended for more information? These are some of the questions that you want to ask your doctor. Now, your doctor would probably ask you questions along the lines of, when did you start having symptoms? Have the symptoms been occasional or continuous? How severe are your symptoms? Anything at all seem to improve your symptoms? Does anything worsen your symptoms? Do you have any relatives that have had Bell's palsy or problems with facial paralysis? Have you had any problems or symptoms of a more generalized infections? These are some of the questions that your doctor may ask you. So be prepared to answer those. And if you have facial pain, what you could probably do again is take over-the-counter pain relievers. Or you might apply moist heat, have a hot rag or hot towel and just put that on your face. You may do it several times a day, and that may help to relieve the pain. Now, if your eye won't close completely, you want to try to use your finger to close your eye repeatedly through the day. Use lubricating eye drops. Wear glasses during the day to protect your eye, and an eye patch at night. Because, again, you could easily scratch your eye, and you don't want to have that kind of damage. Now, we're going to take another little break. But before we do that, I want to ask you again, do you know anyone, or have you experienced Bell's palsy? What has it been like? What was it like for you? Because, that would probably change the opinion that some people may have hearing it from someone who has experienced it. But even if you haven't, if you've seen the video, what is your takeaway from that video? What other bits of research have you done to either refute or agree with the information that was given by this nurse on the video? Or do you just not care? Because here's the thing for me. And again, this is a Kevin Stew thing. The vaccine, which just a few months ago was a theory, is here in reality. The next thing I see happening is it being signed into law that everyone needs to take this vaccine. England has pretty much been alienated, and Japan has closed its borders to international travel. Because here now it is said there's a new strain of the coronavirus. All right. So if there's a new strain to the coronavirus and it is discovered in these countries, the same time that was discovered is when the borders were closed, or is there a time frame between the first discovery and the border being closed? Because if it doesn't happen at the very moment that there is a new strain, that new strain is already out. It is already out of that country. It has already traveled to other places, and who knows who has taken it where. Of course, again, I'm just a DJ. What do I know? But for me, it stands to reason that it is already in other places. So the question is, at this point, this vaccine that was created, is it for the old strain or is it for any strain? And what exactly makes it good for any strain? I'm yet to find that information. Maybe I've overlooked it, but I haven't found that information yet. So maybe you guys can help me to get that information. Again, 773-789-STEW is my number. 773-789-7839. Really easy. Outside of the 773, which is the area code, it's 789 and STEW. What more do you need? All you need to remember is 7. Alright. So we're going to take a quick little break once again. And when we come back, we're going to look at the question of, can getting the coronavirus vaccine lead to Bell's palsy? And this is not a question that was just asked last week. Well, actually, it is. According to Forbes magazine, December 16 article titled the very same question: can getting the coronavirus vaccine lead to Bell's palsy? When we come back, we're going to see what the contributor Nina Shapiro has to say about it. Yeah? We'll be right back after these messages. If the message would play. You know, these little things tend to be so temperamental. No, it won't play. How crazy is that? Wow.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid.
In English,
And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
the only thing I didn't learn in school today.
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
Hey yo, this is Caramanti letting you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the Night Shift. Don't move.
My name is Richie Stevens, and right now this is a special tribute to all doctors and nurses around the world, all healthcare workers. This one is your song. You are our true heroes right now. Here we go. Let's drink to all the hard-working people. Let's drink to the doctors and nurses. Raise your glass to all healthcare workers. Let's drink to the salt of the earth. Say a prayer for policemen and soldiers out there in the streets to keep us alert. Say a prayer for the elders and children, and even the middle-aged. We don't want you to get hurt. Yeah, everybody stay at home. Stay away from the crowd. Yeah, yeah. We don't need to spread these germs around. Yeah. It's taking lives, so you know you gotta keep your distance. Coronavirus is killing people. Hey. So raise your glass to the doctors and nurses. Let's drink and show appreciation to them. Let's think of the wandering millions who need leaders to get a doctor instead. And when I search the whole entire world, I don't see no one that can help us. Oh, they're risking their lives trying to save you and me. The doctors and nurses, they're special people. Yeah. Let's drink to all the hard-working people. Let's drink to the doctors and nurses. Raise your glass to all healthcare workers. Let's drink to the salt of the earth. Let's drink to all the hard-working people. Let's drink to the doctors and nurses.
The sound of Mr. Richie Stevens. Tribute to healthcare workers.
Appreciation to them. Let's think of the wandering millions who need leaders to get a doctor instead. And when I say,
Want to thank you each and everyone for sticking around. Thank you for coming back.
I don't see no one that can
And I want to thank my segment sponsor for this segment of the broadcast, Reggae Global Entertainment. They can take care of your bookings as an agent, handle your tour management, take care of your copyrights, publishing, trademarks, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Give them a call, 954-998-8034. Or check them out online, reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you.
To the salt of the earth. Let's drink to all the hard-working people. Let's drink to the doctors and nurses. Raise your glass to all healthcare workers. Let's drink to the salt of the earth.
Yeah, let's raise our glasses, yeah? It's only fitting. The sound of Richie Stevens, Let's Drink. Yeah, and you know, we may very well need a drink after hearing some of the madness that has been put out to us by way of mass media. Because, let's face it, mass media has been kind of rough. You know, we haven't been given all the information sometimes. Sometimes we've been given misleading information altogether. And, of course, none of that is cool. By any stretch of the imagination. Now, one of the questions that has been put out there, and again, it was fairly recent that this question was presented, is can the coronavirus vaccine cause Bell's palsy? Now, why would a question like that need to be asked at all? That's my first question. And my other question is, the response to that, is it really a legit response? You know, are we being given proper information and the entire bit of information that is available? Or are we just given bits and pieces? And that's one of the things that I struggle with when it comes to information. Anyway, in the FDA reviews of both the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines, each company included reports of several participants who developed facial weakness or paralysis, commonly known as Bell's palsy. In the Moderna group, 4 individuals out of 30,000 reported facial paralysis, 3 who had received the vaccine and 1 who had received the placebo. 4 out of the 43,000 participants in the Pfizer trial developed facial nerve paralysis. All of these were in the vaccine arm of the trial. Oh, okay. I'm thinking the arm of the individual getting the vaccine. The vaccine segment of the trial. Bell's palsy, which is a specific form of a sudden weakness in one side of the face, and very rarely on both sides, as we have come to find out earlier today, occurs for various reasons and is due to swelling of a facial nerve, which is responsible for moving many muscles of the face. The facial nerve is the 7th of 12 cranial nerves, each of which are responsible for specific functions in the head and neck, either for movement or sensation. The first cranial nerve is the olfactory nerve, which is responsible for sense of smell. Inflammation of this nerve with COVID-19 infections contributes to the commonly seen issue of anosmia. Yeah, or loss of smell. I've actually never heard of it referred to as that, but it's anosmia. As an early and potentially lasting symptom of coronavirus infections. Typically, Bell's palsy appears somewhat suddenly, with weakening and a drooping appearance of the facial muscles, almost always, but not exclusively, on just one side of the face. As the facial nerve supplies movement to the forehead, eyelid, cheek, mouth, and lower lip, paralysis or even slight weakening, known as paresis, can be quite distressing and physically noticeable. Many may think that it is a sign of a stroke, as the facial droop seen as a result of a stroke looks quite similar. From a health standpoint, the inability to completely close one's eye due to inability to close the upper eyelid during both blinking and sleeping can lead to too much exposure of the cornea and conjunctiva, which in turn can lead to eye irritation, conjunctivitis, corneal abrasions, or corneal ulcers, none of which are either welcomed or comfortable. In the general population, having nothing to do with COVID-19, nor the COVID-19 vaccine, approximately 40,000 individuals develop Bell's palsy annually in the United States, or approximately 1 in 10,000. In both groups of vaccine trial participants, the rate of 1 in 10,000 was commensurate with the incidence of sudden facial paralysis in the general population. So basically it was in line with what is happening in general population. The statistic remained the same. While the exact cause is often not identifiable, it is most likely caused by viral inflammation of the nerve. Typically, the herpes virus lives in a dormant state in the nerve and may become activated and cause the nerve to swell in times of stress or illness. So if you've had chicken pox, the herpes virus is there. Well, and you have different types of herpes viruses. So, River, my goodness. Welcome, bro. Welcome. The bacteria that causes Lyme disease can also cause dysfunction and resultant weakness or paralysis of the facial nerve. In many cases, the paralysis resolves spontaneously over weeks, but in some cases, some are all the weakness remains. Again, this is courtesy of Forbes magazine asking the question about how the COVID vaccine could be related to Bell's palsy. Now, Dr. Irene Kim, assistant professor of head and neck surgery and director of the Facial Nerve Center in the Division of Facial Plastic Surgery at UCLA, notes that 80 to 90% of patients recover completely from Bell's palsy within 6 weeks to 3 months, and treatment usually involves the treatment listed before. You've had Bell's palsy, Silent River? Alright. Could you possibly give us a call? 773-789-7839. 773-789-7839. I'm putting it in the stew pot. If you could possibly give us a call to tell us what brought it on for you and what the experience was like and how long it lasted, to help give an overall picture. And this is because I'm doing this tonight because there was a video that was posted on, I received it through one of the social media platforms, about this nurse that got the vaccine and in a few days developed Bell's palsy. So What was it that brought it on for you? If you don't want to call in, that's fine. If you could possibly share that in the stew pot also, that would be great. I'll read it to everyone. Now, Dr. Kim envisioned seeing more patients with Bell's palsy as a result of the coronavirus vaccine administration. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. There's a question. Does Dr. Kim envision seeing more patients? Probably not. But it's too early to tell. The information we have is insufficient to say that there is a causal relationship between Bell's palsy and the vaccine. If you look at the incidence of Bell's palsy among both Moderna and Pfizer participants, the number is, as the FDA mentioned, consistent with the expected background rate in the general population. Is it too early to say if Bell's palsy is related to the vaccine? Who knows? As the incidence of Bell's palsy in both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine trial participants was similar to the incidence of Bell's palsy in the general US population, it is very likely not an issue of causality. But again, it is very early in the vaccine rollout to the non-study trial population. At this time, there is no determined causal relationship between Bell's palsy and the vaccine, and the benefits of vaccination likely outweigh the potential risk of facial paresis, according to Dr. Kim. So, hey, cuz, how you doing? Basically, what they're saying is, hey, listen, if you get a little Bell's palsy, don't worry about it. It'll be gone before the end of 2021. And by summer, you should be okay. Possibly. Should be. If it is not gone by spring, then by summer, you should be okay. That's basically what they're saying here. Now, if more people than the 1 in 10,000 from general population gets Bell palsy, and it is attributed to the vaccine, what then? This now is my question. What then at this point? Because we know vaccine producers they basically have immunity when it comes to any side effects of vaccines. So what would be the big deal if someone develops Bell's palsy or any other side effect from the vaccine? So it may seem kind of ridiculous that I'm looking at this information tonight when it could be argued away. A big part of why I'm looking at this information tonight is so that people can understand what Bell's palsy is. Not to say that it is associated with the vaccine. I don't know if it is associated with the vaccine. I don't know if the information that they're giving is legit. Again, this is 1 week old information. So if we're getting 1 week old information, what are we going to do with it? Are we just going to run with it and say, hey, you know what? This is gospel. This is legit, and we're going to go with this. Or do we say, all right, we need to watch this some more. Has there been any more tests done on this vaccine? What else do we know about this vaccine and how it affects people from the time that the vaccine was rolled out until now? If it could have been sped up so much that the vaccine came into production and is available, if it has been fast-tracked so much, now it is available, what do we know about those who have been in the clinical trials and those who have received the vaccine? What? it's gonna take a year before we can know what is happening with these people. And within that year, it becomes imperative that people get vaccinated. And then after that year, what? So do we become informed in making our decision to get vaccinated after it's too late? How does that work? And that is really what I want to know. So if anybody has any answers, I'd love to get some. Silent River, if you could share a little bit of your story with us, I'd love to hear it. If anybody else has any information, I'm open to it. 773-789-STEW. That's 773-789-7839. In the meantime, in between time, I'll leave you to think about the information that I've given you thus far. And then we can move from there.
I see them love. Oh, yes, I see them. Lost in illusion. Lost in illusion. I see them love. Oh, yes, I see them. Lost in delusion. And now they reside in the state of confusion. Why is it that my race remains poor? My race sitting on the jail floors. My race fighting to knock down doors. Same race they stole from across the shore. My race that built this great nation, still trapped on my subplantation. I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in illusion. Lost in illusion. I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in delusion. And now they reside in a state of confusion. Rwanda, Haiti, down in Darfur, Jamaica, they're crying out for murder, hunger. Why can't we come together and help one another? It only takes but one to start a revolution. Please don't play into the illusion. Oh, I see them lost. Yeah, I see them lost. Oh, in a state of confusion. Wake up, wake up, wake up, yeah. Oh, I see them lost. I see them lost. I see them running, running, running. Oh, I see them running. Oh, my people lost. Oh, my people lost. Yeah, I wanna tell it to you now. Oh, I see them lost. Lost in illusion. Yeah, I see them lost. Oh, lost in delusion. Yeah, my people, you lost. Oh, I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in illusion. Lost in illusion. I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in delusion. And now they reside in a state of confusion. I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in illusion. I see them love. Oh yes, I see them.
Okay, so let me share with you guys this what is in the stew pot here. just go ahead and load this up in the meantime. All right, so Silent River says, yeah, Bell's palsy seems frightful. Like my brother thought I had a stroke and rushed me to the ER, only to be admitted for my asthma instead. When my oxygen was so low that they were amazed that I actually walked instead of being brought in an ambulance, unconscious. The Bell's palsy seemed of no concern to them whatsoever. They simply said it would go away on its own. So, I guess it wasn't that major an issue for them at the hospital. I guess because they have seen so many Bell's palsy cases, the main concern for them was the asthma attack. What was it like for you? What was it that you experienced? Did you get the eye not being able to close? Was there any facial pain? How long did it last for you, Silent River? This is Hezron. It's called Once Again.
But I can't stand it no more. My cup is overflowing. You are once adored. Need your love no more. No. So you can live your life while I go on live mine. I wish you good luck and goodbye. We'll see you around sometime. It's time for you to be wise. Yeah. Take off your love disguise. Yeah. Once when I want to go, my poor heart tell me no. No, I can't stand it no more. My cup is overflowing. You are once adored. Yeah. I need your love no more, no more. Yeah, Lord. Ooh, oh yeah, yeah. You are once adored. Yeah. I need your love no more, no one's when I want to go, my poor heart tell me no. But I can't stand it no more. My cup is overflowing. You are once adored. Yeah. I need your love no more.
Cool, Silent River. Go ahead and call in. We got time.
If I only had time, only had time, if I only had time.
This is Ian Sweetness. It's called If I Only Had Time. New music from him.
If I only had time, only time. So much to do. If I only had time, if I only had time. Dream
Greetings and salutations.
What's up?
How you doing, bro?
Alright.
Hey, listen, happy or merry sorrel ham and black cake season to you, sir. And thank you for calling in to share this bit of information with us.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas and happy New Year when it comes.
Yes, man. Much respect. And this being the last.
Am I on the air right now?
You're on the air right now.
Oh, damn.
Hence the decent voice. You know, you get a decent voice. Otherwise, from that mother answer you the regular way. What bridging where I say?
Alright.
But all right. So you experienced Bell's palsy.
Yes,
What was that experience like for you?
It was scary at first. I wasn't sure what was going on. I didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up and was brushing my teeth and couldn't hold water in there.
Mm.
And then I noticed my eyes drooping. And that was just the first sign of it. I don't recall the dry eye, from it being open, but it did keep my eyes open. So,
just one eye or both?
Yeah, just one eye. It was on my left side.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said in the message,
mm-hmm.
My brother came and saw me. He at first didn't see the side of my face. But
right.
Then when he was leaving, I turned around and I looked at him, and he was like, he just turned white.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, he was like, he thought I was having a stroke, because that's the kind of thing you usually associate with a stroke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they took me in, and it was the oxygen that they were concerned about. And I heard when you said something about having a respiratory problem that can be associated with it.
Yes.
Right. So there it goes. That kind of corroborates it.
Right. You having an asthma attack, or
I wasn't having an asthma attack. I felt fine.
That's even more interesting.
But I tend to I guess at that point I was used to having low oxygen.
Okay.
And I wasn't very active.
Right.
Right? And for some reason, that felt normal for me.
Got you.
Maybe I was just adapting to having, a lack of oxygen. I don't know, but that's how it was.
Well, you better not get this COVID virus, because you probably wouldn't know it. If you're used to being low on oxygen and it not affecting you severely, then it's not going to affect you severely.
It's gonna kill me.
Well, you'll probably, you may die, but you just wouldn't know why you're dying, since you're so used to it. Being low on oxygen.
No, trust me. When I have an attack, I know it.
Okay, cool.
It's different. Much different.
So how long did the symptoms?
That's just a beginning of the whole saga. But I've actually died from having asthma, and that was as simple as falling asleep. There was no asthma attack as most people would see it.
Did you just say you died?
Yeah.
So I am talking to a dead guy?
Previously dead guy.
Oh, cool. Previously,
No,
that changes things.
I coded. They were able to revive me, and
right.
Spent a while in hospital, intubated.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Okay.
That was years ago.
All right. So.
And you said that this is linked to the virus, like a virus.
Yeah, it is said to be linked to possibly several viruses.
Right.
Including the cold virus, the flu virus, chickenpox virus.
And you mentioned shingles, which is from having chickenpox.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So here's the other saga.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had Bell's palsy, that was on my left side.
Right.
Years later, I got another disease or condition that's very similar. No, this was worse because this was from the shingles. And it's very rare, but it's when you have an ear infection and it affects the nerves in your face.
In your face.
Right. That was called Ramsay-Hunt.
Yeah,
Ramsay-Hunt's disease. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look up that one.
Right.
So
no, that was painful. Imagine having shingles in the ears.
Well,
now they say shingles on its own is just
really irritating,
painful. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So the Bell's palsy, because that other condition is a whole different show by itself. The Bell's palsy lasted for how long? You remember?
Oh, no, I don't remember exactly. It's so vague now.
Okay.
I know it wasn't a year. It was probably around 6 months that my face was starting to get back some
sensation and mobility.
Not so much sensation, the mobility.
Okay.
Yeah, like I could close my mouth and not have water running out of it.
Right.
After a few weeks, but you could see the drooping still a little bit, and it took some exercise to kind of rehabilitate my muscles.
Okay, so that is where the physical therapy comes in.
Exactly.
What was eating and drinking like for you?
Just trying to keep stuff in my mouth. It would be leaking out the left side.
So did you kind of have to like lean your head over to the right side to drink and to eat?
Yeah,
it sounds like a weird. It sounds like a weird question, but with not being able to keep your lips together on one side of your face.
You can keep it together, but there's not that tension that keeps it closed under pressure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, some people might think, Stu, that's kind of insensitive to ask, or do you lean your head to one side to eat when you have Bell's palsy? If the muscles in your face not working,
you can take for granted.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have no problem with it.
No, thank goodness, I know you well enough that you would not have a problem with it. But there are some that would probably think that I'm being insensitive and asking a question like that. But in reality, this is something that we don't know, and the only way to get that information is to ask someone who has experienced it. And you're here and you've experienced it, so hence the question. And again, people, you can assume whatever you want. Again, if you don't experience it, there's nothing that you can tell me. I'm getting it from the source. And if I don't ask the source, well,
I mean, everybody might have a different experience.
True. So I stand corrected, from a source, and this is his experience, and I truly appreciate love that you came on tonight, and you've been missed, bro. You've been missed.
Well, I've been in and out, but this has been the first time I kind of caught it. Caught your show, in a while. So it's kind of a coincidence.
Well, it's nothing happens by accident. You were needed tonight for that very reason. So, given the possibility of a case of Bell's palsy, is the vaccine for COVID-19 something that you're looking at lining up for?
Yeah, as soon as I'm a candidate.
As soon as you're a candidate, or as soon as it is deemed safe, the vaccine is deemed safe.
No, I'm confident in it.
Really?
I understand. Yeah, I understand the whole science. Well, not whole science, but I understand enough of it that I don't feel like it is a detriment or whatever. Put it this way. I've been through.
Yes.
I've been through the Bell's palsy.
Yes.
And the Ramsey Hunt, which is that worse.
Right.
Right. And see what people go through on TV or in the news.
Mm-hmm.
This is not even a thought.
But
I'm just waiting for the vaccine.
Okay, so even though they say the vaccine won't prevent you from getting the virus, it will just help with the symptoms of the virus. That's one of the bits of information that I've come across, and
that's. I mean, I get that something would help with the symptoms, but if it's going to help people from dying, that's a heck of a symptom that you want to prevent.
Okay.
Right? I mean, it's not just me. It's my mom. It's my daughter. It's my family. It's other people's relatives. I mean, there are a lot of people dying from this.
Right. But there are a lot of people recovering from it too. A lot more.
Okay, and with the Moderna?
Yes.
They say it's 100% effective in. I'm sorry, I'm getting like an echo. So if I keep breaking up, it's just I keep hearing myself back.
That's odd. Okay.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, it's 100% in preventing death from it. That's what they say. No, I just have to trust that.
Okay.
Here's another way of looking at it. They say it's 1 in 1,000 people dying.
From the vaccine?
And, right. No. From the COVID.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right? And how many vaccines have they given out?
To date, I don't even know. I know the trials, one trial had 43,000, another trial had 30,000.
And since it's been rolled out, it's about 3 million, right?
That much already?
Have you heard of anybody dying?
I haven't.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so if you're gonna go from 1 in 1,000 to 0 in 3 million,
you'd work with that statistic.
Right.
I got you. All right.
It might be still early, you know.
Oh, so let's go ahead and toss that in the mix. 3 million people got it. Nobody died. But wait, hold on. There's still time.
Yeah, well, you always have a caveat.
Listen, River, I truly appreciate you calling in and sharing your experience with us, man. Thank you. And welcome back. You, like I said, you've been missed.
And I'm gonna try and catch your shows more often, man. I missed it.
Much appreciate, love.
I know there's been a lot of good shows that you've had that that I would have been.
Yes.
Like hating myself for missing it.
Don't worry. We can always revisit some of those topics, and get you involved. So,
and it's on YouTube.
It's on my website. The archive is there, video archive is there, and audio archive is there.
Okay, so you don't want to talk about the YouTube.
Not particularly, no.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk about my website. If people go to my website, I check the archives there.
All right.
Because at least then, they're on my website. Yeah.
All right, scratch what I just said then.
Got you. All right, Bridget. All right, so we're going to go through our musical therapy and wrap up this night. Thank you again. You have been a great contributor to Healthy Love tonight.
You're very welcome, sir.
All right. We'll talk.
Bye. You too. Yeah.
Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, Silent River. They run deep, and he is one such individual with an appropriate name, Silent River, in the stew pot. Yeah?
Music like this and music like that, and I play and take it back as Mama Sterling back to top.
Silent River, this track here is for you. It's called Thank You, Lord.
Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me.
The legendary Yvonne Sterling working out with Richie Stevens and Little Lenny.
Music like this and music like that, and I play and take it back as Mama Sterling back to top.
It's about 30 years since Yvonne Sterling recorded that track.
Praises to the Lord, sing it out, Mama Sterling. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. You touch my life with your blessing. Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing now, right now. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing. 'Cause right now I'm not stressing. Thank you, Lord, for another chance to sing. I'm gonna sing along, sing along. I was in a bad situation. I live each day in serious desperation. I tell you, thought my life was over, but of people gone, you ain't not in there. You have your life and ambition, still up on a mission, and now one more chance you are paid out there. If each one help, one better must come. So when you get your blessing, along go share some. And when you see another man fall on the ground, lift him up, no bother keep him down. Mama's telling sing.
Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me.
You touch my life with your blessing.
Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing now, right now. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing.
That's why you know I'm not stressing.
Thank you, Lord, for another chance to sing.
So let me tell you something. Some people need a little food upon the table. I don't know where to find them. And you should give a little blessing if you're able. With humbleness behind it. No greater deed, no greater love. No better way to show it. There is no feeling like the way I feel when I know I'm helping.
Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me.
Mama's telling sing.
Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing now.
Mama's telling sing.
Thank you, Lord, for every little thing. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Lord, for another chance to sing. I'm gonna sing along, sing along. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing now, right now. Thank you, Lord.
Not yet available for purchase, but I'm grateful to have it in my collection. Thank you, Lord. Yvonne Sterling, Richie Stevens, Little Lenny.
With Shia by my side, I am gonna be alright.
This is that female trio out of South Florida. Sensational Dynamic Sound, SDS.
With Shia by my side,
Shauna Dazzle, Suzanne Sultry, and Dottie.
yes I will. Listen to me.
It's called Jazz by My Side.
I won't be afraid, no, of the terror that crawleth by night, no, the arrow by day. Yeah, with Shia by my side, I won't be afraid, no, of the terror that crawleth by night, no, the arrow by day. Yeah. Oh, can I fear when the people them say my job is stronger in every way? Make the news people chat, me no response to that. I know that everything will be okay.
Look how many storms you've already been through. Not one of them ever conquered you.
Some battles you fight on your knees, then you cut and go through. Cut and go through. Cause just by my side, yeah, I won't be afraid, no, of the terror that crawleth by night, nor the arrow by day. Cause just by my side, I won't be afraid, no, of the terror that crawleth by night, nor the arrow by day. With Shia by my side, we're gonna be alright. We're gonna be alright. Alright. Yeah. With Shia by my side, we're gonna be
I never cease to praise him, even though my bills are way overdue. I never cease to praise him, even though I don't know what I'm gonna do. And even when I find my back against the wall with nowhere to turn, I lift my head up high and say, Jah, I know you got me covered, and I thank
This is the sound of Tamara B. Or Tamara Brown.
you are always there to show me the way.
If you want to use her full name.
I don't know, so I get up.
5 of AJ Brown, lead singer of Third World.
And that's your better guidance, cause on your solid rock is where I will stand.
This is a track called Jah Got Me Covered. And this is how I bounce out a healthy love tonight. Thank you each and everyone for sharing.
Stormy seas at times I'll be.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Silent River, glad to have you back, bro.
Cause your ultimate captain is always there to deliver me. So me not gonna make.
Remember to come on in. I'm here same time, same place tomorrow. Real Talk Wednesday, closing out the night shift week, the very last week of the night shift for 2020.
I'll stand firm in my faith. He will make everything straight.
Yes, Silent River, you totally derailed the good information and you made it better. Thank you, bro. Thanks to GMAT Music Solution for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. Also, let me squeeze this in. GMAT Music Solutions bring your event to life, providing sound, light, and stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, bands, musicians, singers, and so much more. Give them a call, 754-307-GMAC, or check them out online, gmatmusicsolutions.com. I bid you good afternoon, good day, good morning, wherever you are in the world, from right here in South Florida. I bid you a good night.
You're always there to show me the way. I know you got me covered. Thank you. Stormy seas at times I be. There's no
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.